Hello and welcome! You have found my perfume review channel, Chrissy Love. My name is Chrissy. It's so great to have you here. I review perfumes because it fills my cup. It is my passion, my hobby. I get real experience out of smelling these new perfumes, and I just decided one day that I have all these perfumes, I have these opinions on all these perfumes, so now I want to share them with the world and really participate actively in this online perfume loving community. So welcome, thank you for being here. Today is a really fun day because I have a massive haul. I've been collecting these perfumes for probably about a month. They're all full size. They've been ones I've had my eyes on for a long time, so this is really exciting. I have 16 perfumes to review today, so let's just cut to the chase and jump right in. The first one I have here is Aerin Tangier Vanille, and I got this off Mercari. So the notes, for top notes, we have vanilla, bergamot, and rose, middle note of amber, and base notes of sandalwood and musk. Now, when I first spray this one, I'm a little bit let down because it is quite a buttery vanilla. It's very overly sweetened. It has almost like a licorice undertone to it. And then in the dry down, it stays very synthetic. So think doll head, saccharine sweet, really straightforward though, not really that complex or interesting. It really is just like a doll head synthetic vanilla in the dry down. So I was expecting something maybe a little more exotic and didn't really get that. And that butteriness really throws me off. I just don't like that oily butteriness in perfumes. Now performance wise, it is largely a skin scent. I was able to smell it wafting off me maybe like 2 or 3 times throughout the day. I'm someone who really likes to smell perfumes again and again and again all around me all day. Like when I move my head, I want to smell it. And with this, I don't get that. It's largely a skin scent. So this one was definitely not a good one for me. It's not a good fit. So hoping to find a new home for that one. My second foray into vanilla blind buys is Lush Vanillary. Now, Lush perfumes, they have an expiration date on them because they're made with more natural and sustainable materials, and you definitely get that feeling with this. It does not smell like a commercial perfume. It's also very linear, so it doesn't really develop on my skin. So basically what I get from it is a buttery, floral vanilla. It also has this sense of vanilla-scented baby lotion. So a little bit plasticky, a little bit of a synthetic note underneath it all, which is interesting considering there's nothing synthetic in it at all, but it gives me that vibe. And I think it's that oily butteriness like we had in the last one. Doesn't really do it for me. That just really throws me off. I wish it was like a sweet, decadent vanilla, but it's really not a gourmand vanilla. It's a more natural, buttery, floral vanilla. Performance-wise, it does stick to my skin all day with reasonable projection. It's pretty good performance, actually. I can't really complain about it, but just the smell itself, I have so many vanillas, and this is really not like an indulgent, beautiful vanilla like I would like. So unfortunately, the Lush Vanillary is probably going to be leaving my collection very soon. This next one is super exciting to me. It is Bath & Body Works Velvet Sugar. Like that traditional perfume bottle style. And Bath & Body Works rarely does their bottles like this, so this is really cute. I'm just gonna show you what it sprays like. Can you see that? Really cute. So it's actually not that convenient for spraying. I usually like to put it in one hand and go, so you kind of have to hold this out on yourself. But, you know, props for the beauty of the bottle, and it looks gorgeous on your dressing room table, so I'll take it. And this has a very complex scent profile. So top notes are wild strawberry, nectarine, pear blossom, and apple. I can smell it now. It's amazing. Middle notes are whipped cream, whiskey, yellow plum, coffee, pink jasmine, honeysuckle, and freesia. And the base notes are sugar, caramel, vanilla, musk, amber, and tolu balsam. And it is absolutely as delicious as you would think. It smells like very sweet candied strawberries. It's super sugary and gourmand. You really get that whipped cream vibe. The one thing is it's very linear. It doesn't develop a lot on my skin, but it stays gorgeous. I love that strawberries and whipped cream feeling from it. It's just delicious and gourmand and really up my alley. Now, performance-wise, like with most Bath & Body Works perfumes, it doesn't project that well after the first half hour or so. It does stick to my skin pretty much all day, but I do have to really spray it a few times throughout the day to get that scent bubble around me. But really not too expensive and not too complex considering there's so many notes in the pyramid. But gosh, is it delicious. And that is Bath & Body Works Velvet Sugar. Now I have Trussardi Donna. And this is one that has been all over YouTube. I don't know who hasn't tried this perfume yet, but here I am and I'm doing it. So this was surprisingly a freshie for me, which is pretty cool. So the top notes are fruity notes, yuzu and Amalfi lemon. The middle notes are jasmine, African orange flower, and lotus. And the base notes are vanilla, sandalwood, patchouli, and Virginia cedar. And I have heard people describe this as a tea scent. I don't see any tea in the notes, but I get that it's fresh like a tea scent. So when I first spray this, I get a really bright white floral, a little bit musky, but really not sweet. And then in the dry down, it turns very soapy white floral. So it's very fresh and clean without a synthetic note though. So it's really nice. It's a authentic, genuine, fresh scent. Really grab and go, really great for errands and just general daytime use. There's nothing really sexy or complex about it, despite the notes having a mix of fruits and florals and, you know, some more like patchouli and vanilla. That's all lovely, but what I really get on the surface is like fresh, clean, bright floral, really sophisticated. I think this is a really classy scent. It is great. I'm really more of a sweet perfume lover, if you haven't figured that out already, and it doesn't really have that much sweetness. So I'm gonna give this a really, you know, multi-day, maybe even week-long wear test to see if it's really gonna stay in my collection. There's room in my collection, so I just did a major declutter. If you look back in my videos, you'll see I have my new collection rolled out recently, which definitely has room for more. So I will consider adding this as a freshie option in my collection, but I'm a little bit on the fence on that. Now, performance-wise, it is a little bit weak. It's almost gone after about 3 or 4 hours, so you really have to do respray. But the price is really great on this. I think I got this for under $20. So for that price, and you know, I think the bottle is still pretty sophisticated. It has like this nice emblem on the top, and you know, I think that you kind of are getting a really great perfume for what you're paying for. So if you're looking for an everyday floral freshie that I think for a lot of people kind of smells like tea for them, then Trussardi Donna is a really nice option. Next, I have a Juicy Couture perfume. And I'm actually not a really big Juicy Couture fan because they all smell rather similar to me and kind of shampoo-y, and I actually don't love that like shampoo-y smell in perfumes. But this one's getting more up my alley, and this is Bowdacious. Oh my gosh. This bottle is too much. Look, it has little bows all over it, and then it has this big bow on the cap. I mean, this is insane as far as bottles go. Now, for top notes, we have melon, pear, and Italian mandarin. Middle notes are tiara flower, white ginger lily, and jasmine sambac. And base notes are coconut milk, tonka bean, and driftwood. And that coconut milk is what makes it unique to me. So when I do the first spray, I really get like a bubble gummy shampoo or bubble bath feeling. It's really saccharine sweet, but it still has that like signature juicy shampoo scent. It's definitely still there, but it's rather bubble gummy. And in the dry down, oh my goodness, I get this like tropical coconutty cocktail. It's really fun. It's cozy with the coconut. It's really sweet. It's just playful and fun. I smell a little bit of berries in it, which I guess aren't actually berries, but I get berry vibes from it for sure. It is still a little bit shampoo-y, but I think it's forgivable because it has more depth, I think, than the usual Juicy Couture perfume. And I think that coconut just makes it a lot more exciting, especially for summer. I can see men loving this scent on, you know, on their partner. I can definitely see that. It's super flirty and playful. I mean, it's just like the bottle. It is like what you see here is what you get. Performance-wise, not the best. It's pretty much gone by midday for me, but it does project while it's on my skin. So for like, you know, a good 4 hours, I'm getting good projection, but then I really need to respray halfway through the day. But not a big deal. I still really like this one. I'm gonna keep giving it more of a wear test because now that I've declared my collection, I'm so careful about what goes into my primary collection because if I'm not going to reach for it, there's really no point in me having it. And it just gives me anxiety to have perfumes I never use. So this one is like a 90% contender for entering into my final collection. And this is Juicy Couture Bowdacious. This next one was a solid recommendation from the Fragrantician. So I watch her channel all the time. I think she's just like the sassiest, funniest person, and I will link her channel below because I just love her so much. And so she recommended this one to me directly and also on her channel, and it is Mauboussin, I think I'm pronouncing that right, Mauboussin a la Folie. And this is a cheapy, affordable one as well. I think this one was under $20 for me on Fragrance X. Now the one problem with this bottle is it's kind of hard to get the cap off. It kind of like gets stuck on. So that's okay though. So the top note is champagne, the middle notes are raspberry and rose, and the base note is caramel. And when I first spray this, I really get a raspberry and rose champagne. So they both come out equally strong. It's floral, it's effervescent, it's slightly sweet, but not overly sweet. It's not a gourmand. And in the dry down, I get more of like a musk floral with some raspberry. So it's still creamy and sweet, I think, from that caramel, but that champagne effervescence fades away and it becomes really like a rosy, musky, creamy scent. Performance-wise, it really is a skin scent after only a few hours. It doesn't have a lot of projection. I think that's where it fails me. But overall, for the price especially, this is a really fun one. It's not super complex. It's not super sophisticated, but it is a lovely rose raspberry scent if you like a little bit of fruit in your floral. And that creaminess, you don't actually get outright caramel sweetness, but it more like rounds out and softens the rose, which can be sharp sometimes. So I'm gonna again give this one more of a wear test. I've wore this of course around for a day for this video, but I want to just really live with it for a while before I decide if I'm gonna keep it around. But this is definitely a contender and it's definitely a fun cheapie. And that is Mauboussin a la Folie. So I'm not in the habit of buying perfumes from clothing companies. I mean, you know, like traditional clothing companies like H&M, Express, Maurice's, places like that. I would say they fall beneath even designer fragrances for me. But in this case, I found this on sale and it is Express Bali Tides. And I want to say it's an eau de toilette because it's really, really light. Also, it's not on the website anymore and I can't find it on Fragrantica, so I can't actually find the notes for this anymore. But if you happen to come across it, I see it sometimes on Fragrance X actually, I think. I definitely see it on Mercari. I'm going to tell you what I think about it anyway. So when I first spray this, I get like, yes, like a pineapple tree. It's very green, it's very tropical, very pineapple-y, and then in the dry down, it turns rather faint, like an eau de toilette does. It kind of smells like a watered down pineapple with some green notes sitting in the background. So it's very tropical, it is definitely fun, but it almost takes on this kind of bug spray-like smell in the dry down. Performance-wise, it does stay on my skin for most of the day. It is very much a skin scent, but the projection is low from start to finish. So this is one that I might actually keep around just to like bring to the beach or somewhere that I don't mind if it gets dinged up or if I even lose it, you know, it's just to like have that immediate experience of a tropical scent around me, but I'm not really expecting it to last the whole day. So this was kind of like a fun cheapie, definitely worth giving a try, but I probably will be less likely to give a try to perfumes from Express or like Maurice's or, you know, companies like that because they tend to not really work out. But that is Express Bali Tides. This next one was a true blind buy. I mean, no one told me to get it. I just saw it on Fragrance X at a good price, looked at the notes and said, sure, I'll give that a try. And that is Pascal Morabito Perle Precieuse. And this bottle is not that great. But the top notes are rhubarb, pear, and mandarin orange. The middle notes are rose, tuberose, and water lily, and the base notes are musk and vanilla. And if there's two things I love in a perfume, it is rhubarb and it is pear. So this one, when I first spray it though, I'm gonna spray the box just so I can kind of get it in my nose again. It's a really soapy honeysuckle. It has this hint of like a natural floral sweetness, but overall it's a very realistic floral. In the dry down, I get more of that realistic honeysuckle. It's actually quite pretty. It's just lovely. You know, it's soapy. It's a little bit bitter from the florals, but a little bit sweet too. It's really just, I mean, honeysuckle is not even a scent that's supposed to be in it, but it's just my interpretation. Maybe it's just the combination of things. It's the florals in it are rose, tuberose, and water lily, but it reads to me as honeysuckle. Performance-wise, it really sticks to my skin, which is nice, and it does have decent projection. So for being a cheapie, it actually was a pretty good find. I'm going to keep wearing this around because there is room in my collection for a fresh floral. There is. Now, Trussardi Donna is also in the running for that one. I'm not sure which one I will keep, but this is actually a very surprising, relatively successful blind buy for me. That is Pascal Morabito Perle Precieuse. This one got really rave reviews on Fragrantica, which piqued my interest, and it's also a really affordable one. And this is Bebe Nouveau Chic. And it's kind of a cool bottle too. Got that frosted glass with those lines impressed into it. And the top notes are tangerine and pear. There's that pear again. Middle notes of pink jasmine, magnolia, and orchid. And base notes of sandalwood, musk, and amber. And this is one that, again, no one ever told me about. I never see anyone reviewing it. But when you see a cheapie and it gets good reviews, you're like, hey, why not? It can be fun. I love the grab bag kind of thing. So when I first spray this, I get a really zesty citrus. And when I initially sprayed it without knowing what the notes were, I thought orange. So I was pretty close with the tangerine. You definitely get white florals. It's really effervescent and bright. It's just like a happy perfume. And in the dry down, what it smells like is like a very expensive hotel soap. So it's a soapy floral. It's very well blended. It smells super classy, guys. This is actually lovely. And the tangerine kind of sticks with it too, which is that soapy floral tangerine, like a hotel soap kind of smell. Performance-wise, it definitely sticks to your skin, and it has decent projection. So overall, really can't complain. It's not a beast mode perfume, but it's also a little bit of a freshie. So I would say that's about what you'd expect. So this is one that I think is going to make it into my permanent collection because that tangerine just brightens it up really nice. I can see this being spring, summer, or fall. So, and the bottle is lovely. So classy. And look at the top here. Yes, really nice. So this was a real big surprise for me that I loved it so much. It is Bebe Nouveau Chic. This next one was a huge shot in the dark. And this by the brand Police. And all their bottles are skulls with these crazy designs on them. And from the start, I was like, oh, that looks like a Hot Topic perfume. Like, no, I'm good on that. And then I saw this one had such amazing reviews and it was really cheap too. So I said, okay, let's just give it a shot. And it has this little like tag thing on. I had to get off. So, oh my God. Guys, this is amazing. So I'm a big La Nuit Trésor fan by Lancôme, and I'm pretty sure this is a dupe for that. So the top notes are plum, blackcurrant, and lemon. The middle notes are heliotrope, osmanthus, and jasmine, and the base notes are vanilla, suede, and patchouli. I'm going to spray this ridiculous box that came in. Now when I first spray it, it's really sweet. It definitely has like tonka kind of smell to it, like a real depth and grounding to it. It has a very slightly plastic note just in the opening, and it does definitely have that plum. I'm really smelling that. And in the dry down, it is just decadent. It is rich and sweet and sophisticated. You get that like depth still. It's so rich and comforting. And guys, this has beast mode performance. It stuck to me like glue all day, projects. It stays on you till the next day. It's amazing. And this is pretty much like, I'd say a 90% dupe for La Nuit Trésor Eau de Parfum, the original. It very much has the same DNA, but I would say that Exotic Jungle actually is a tad bit more sophisticated because it's just less sweet. But I will say that La Nuit Trésor does have a little more of like levity and brightness to it than this does. This is a little bit dense and heavy. And now compare it to also La Nuit Trésor à la Folie, which is kind of like a more woody and vanillic version, which I actually prefer to the original La Nuit Trésor. So Exotic Jungle is not as woody. It doesn't have that in it. But it does have more of that complexity that à la Folie has. And I would say Folie has more of like a vanillic base as well, whereas this has more of like, to me, I read as tonka, which it might be that vanilla and suede I'm smelling. But this is really inexpensive. I think this was around $25. And I think all the perfumes kind of are around that price. And so compared to La Nuit Trésor prices, it's a lot better. And you are losing nothing in this. It absolutely has the complexity. It has the depth. It has a similar DNA. I mean, this just blows my mind. I hate the bottle. I hate this bottle. I do not want to have to look at this every day. I'm just not really like a skull and crossbones kind of gal, you know? And the name Police too, I'm like, what is that? Sorry, but it's just not my style, that's all. I'm sure it is. I'm sure someone else has like 10 of these lined up on their shelf and they're like so excited and it looks gorgeous. I'm sure of it. But for me, the bottle doesn't do it for me. But the scent, wow. I'm going to have to try a lot more of this brand because if they all have this quality, then I am in. And that is Police Exotic Jungle. Next, I have one from Jaqua, which is a company I've loved for over a decade. They sell all kinds of body products like lotions and body sprays and soaps and all kinds of things like that. And this one is their Ambrosia Melon, and this is their body spray. So it's it's a hydrating body mist, so it has aloe and willow bark in it, and it definitely is hydrating. And this is not on Fragrantica or anything, so I'm going to pull the notes right off of their website. And so what we have here, of course, a pop-up came up right over the screen when I was looking at it. Creamy, decadent, buttery vanilla bean, a hint of sweet banana, and a luscious, warm floral. And when I first spray this, I get an herbal melon. And it also has this slightly spoiled milk tang to it. It's a little odd. And then in the dry down, it stays kind of off and kind of odd. It has that herbal melon, but it has this synthetic sweetness, like it's trying to inject sweetness against its will or something. The performance is really excellent, considering it's a body spray. It really does stay on me most of the day, and I love that it's a hydrating body spray too. It might even replace using a lotion if you kind of like spray it around you a lot. So I love the concept, and I love their buttercream frosting one, which smells just like buttercream frosting and is delicious. But this Ambrosia Melon is a little funny. And when you think of the word ambrosia, at least when I think about it, I think of kind of like a traditional like 1950s salad or something. And with it, that salad has like marshmallow and Cool Whip and mandarin oranges in it. And it kind of like does remind me of that. It has this like tang to it that's kind of food-like. So I guess it's not off base for what you would expect from the title, but I was hoping for more melon or something more juicy, and I'm just not really getting that. So this one's probably in my collection just because it just smells a bit funny. I would not really recommend this one unless you like a real old-fashioned tang. And that is Jaqua Ambrosia Melon. The next one I have here is MAC Turquatic. And I know it's not part of the Shade Scents collection per se, which I do have a video that I reviewed all of the Shade Scent collection scents. So that's like the Creme de Nude and Ruby Woo and those. So I'll link that below. So this is not necessarily part of that collection, but I kind of always considered it to be kind of part of their line of perfume, which it obviously is. So I've been looking to get my hands on Turquatic for a long time. Now when I bought this, I thought it was a larger bottle. This is actually a 20 milliliter bottle. So it fits in the palm of my hand. It's actually quite small, but at least I got to get my nose on it. Now the notes on this are watery notes, lotus, Amalfi lemon, Virginia cedar, anemone, which is a flower, I guess, and orris root. And when I first spray this, I'm just going to do it again just to remind myself. It's kind of peppery. It has this kind of herbal greenness to it. It's kind of vegetal and dense. It's interesting. It's not salty though. It's not like it's an ocean inspired scent. It smells more like a lagoon type scent. And in the dry down, I get like a seaweed feeling or like a lake algae feeling from it. So it's still really green, still really dense. It's kind of murky and dark is the vibe I get from it. It's really interesting. I'm not sure I want to smell like lake algae. It's more like this could be a really interesting room spray maybe if you just like that kind of smell. Now projection is not that great, but it does stay really strong on my skin, which is odd. So like when I put my nose to my skin, it's like pungent and it sticks around, but it doesn't really float in the air. If someone can explain to me how the molecules work in perfumes, that like it can be a skin scent but not project, I would love to learn about that. So yeah, I don't think Turquatic is really my style, but it's unique, it is interesting, and if you want to smell like a swamp, this is all you. So this is MAC Turquatic. This next one is an all-out classic, so if we differ on opinion, I apologize. I'm coming to this with a very fresh nose. I've never smelled this before, and this is Chanel's Coco Noir. Very timeless bottle, I can't argue with that. Now, the top notes are grapefruit, bergamot, and orange. The middle notes are rose, geranium, jasmine, narcissus, which is a flower, and peach. And the base notes are patchouli, sandalwood, olibanum, which I believe is like a resin, tonka bean, vanilla, white musk, cloves, and benzoin. And when I first spray this, I really get like aldehydes, which I know is like the classic Chanel thing that, you know, is in all the older Chanel perfumes. It's floral, it's musky, it's definitely complex, and it's definitely well blended. I will give it that. But then in the dry down, it gets almost more aldehydic on me. It smells really old fashioned. I definitely get the florals, which I don't love a really strong floral. And the florals actually kind of read as honeysuckle to me, but it's a little bit bitter. It's pungent. Even you can smell it in the bottle right now. It's slightly powdery, which is actually nice. I like that. But on my skin, it just smells a little bit too old-fashioned, a little bit grandmotherly. I think it's a classic scent that if I smelled on somebody else, I would have no issue with. I'm just not sure it's really me. So performance-wise, it's fantastic, of course. The price reflects that. It is beast mode. It stays on me way longer than I want it to. Yeah, so this is one I'm going to keep playing around with just to make sure I'm not wrong about it, but it feels to me like the aldehydes are what's really bothering me. And it's not like there's aldehydes in the notes necessarily, but that vibe is definitely there. That old school, like 1950s perfume vibe is definitely still there. And that is Chanel Coco Noir. Now, this is one I've been trying to get my hands on for a very long time, and this particular version. So this is the original 1925, I believe, Guerlain Shalimar Eau de Cologne. And I've smelled the more recent version of Shalimar and was like, oh, that's nasty. But everyone said, no, get the original Eau de Cologne. It smells like lemon and it smells delicious. And I said, okay, we'll give it a try. So the top notes on this are bergamot, lemon, mandarin orange, and cedar. Middle notes are iris, vetiver, patchouli, jasmine, and rose. And base notes are leather, vanilla, incense, opoponax, benzoin, sandalwood, civet, Peru balsam, and musk. And when I first spray this, I definitely get, here I'm going to do it again. I already sprayed it before, but yeah. I definitely get a lemon biscuit, like lemon powdered sugar cookie with a faint aldehyde scent. That old-fashioned, I guess 1925 is old-fashioned if anything is, it still is there. And it's very powdery. But then on my skin in the dry down, it turns into a very sweet lemon, like a powdered sugar lemon with that old-fashioned background smell really sticking to me. So that like aldehyde type smell. It doesn't smell bad. Like for being so old of a formulation, it actually doesn't smell super old-fashioned. It's not totally out of touch, but it smells grandmotherly. Powdery, sweet, almost like candies that like a grandmother would have in her purse. That's what I get from this. And the performance is definitely beast mode. It's fantastic. I think the old-fashioned undertone might be a deal breaker for me. I'm going to keep giving it a try. And granted, I don't have the top on this, but it's like this blue ornate top usually. But that's what this looks like, the version I have. Now, if you're looking for a lemon pastry scent, but don't want the old-fashioned undertone, a Sweet Pastry in Paris by Zara is where you want to go. And I also have that one, and it has none of that old-fashioned scent. It doesn't perform nearly as well. It's more like a body spray, and it is really quite sweet, like very gourmand. But this is definitely a lemon square powdered sugar type scent as well. So I'm gonna, keep giving the Eau de Cologne Shalimar a chance, but there's a really good chance it's leaving my collection because I just really can't do that old-fashioned aldehyde smell, and it really comes out on my skin. So we'll see. So that is the Shalimar Eau de Cologne. This is like the original formulation, 1925 version. This is another one that I am missing the top on because I am cheap and like buying my perfumes used. And this is Tahiti Island Dream by Bath & Body Works. Also has a little stain on the front, it looks like, but it usually has this like little clear white bulb on top. Anyway, so this is by Bath & Body Works, and the top notes are coconut nectar, kiwi flower, pear, and mandarin orange. The middle notes are frangipani, jasmine, and water lily, and the base notes are vanilla, amber, Australian sandalwood, and musk. And when I first spray this, that sprayer is really not good. It just like blasted right out on me. It's really a creamy colada vibe, which you would guess, right, from Tahiti Island Dream. So it's got pineapple scent in it to me. It has coconut. It's extremely sweet, but it's also really mellow. So it's not tart. It doesn't have like that tartness of the orange or anything like you might think. It doesn't even come off as being very floral. It comes off very coconutty and very sweet. But then where it really fails me is in the dry down. So after like an hour or more of wear, it becomes a very faint, kind of like vanillic sweetness. It doesn't really have that tropical vibe anymore. It's pleasant. It's definitely not a bad smell, but it just really loses all complexity it had in the beginning. And of course, it goes along with the performance. It's pretty much gone after a few hours. So this is one where it's more like a body spray where you spray it and then after an hour, it's kind of like not the perfume you initially sprayed. So nice for going to bed, nice for the beach, for casual wear. Is it worth keeping my collection? I don't know, yet to be seen. I have so many, it doesn't really make sense to like save something just because it smells good for the first 5 minutes or maybe a little more than 5 minutes, but so we'll see about this one. Honestly, I'm a bit skeptical, but it does smell good. And this would actually be a really nice children's perfume, actually. It's really unchallenging, but sweet and fun. But then it'll fade away and not really stick to them. So this is Bath & Body Works Tahiti Island Dream. So I'm going to end on a high note here. This was a real find for me. And this is Indulgent Moments Sun-Kissed Hibiscus and Pomelo. And if you frequent Marshalls or TJ Maxx like I do, you'll see these bottles everywhere. So I did some research into who this company actually is. And Indulgent Moments is just like a line of perfumes put out by Palm Beach Beauté. Palm Beach Beauté. And they're based in Florida. And they have a whole bunch of these. They have like black cherry and tonka, black currant and golden amber, sea salt and neroli. And I've smelled a bunch of them at TJ Maxx and been like, they smell a little bit cheap, not for me. But then I smelled this one, and it was a game changer. So this really is linear, and what you see is what you get, the Sun-Kissed Hibiscus and Pomelo. It really smells like a very zesty, like pomelo rind. Really fresh, realistic, a little bit sweet in a very natural way. It's fresh and bright and happy, and it makes me happy just to smell it. Now, it really is more of a body spray, and by the price, you can see here from TJ Maxx. Actually, wait, what's at Marshalls? $9.99 at Marshalls. It says it retails for $16. Who knows? But this does say it's an eau de parfum, but I don't buy it. It's really a body spray. It's really a skin scent with very little projection, but it's refreshing, pick me up. It's great to throw in the gym bag. It's great to throw in the beach bag. Just spray it around on you. It also be great in your bathroom. It looks really pretty. So I can see having this in your bathroom as like a room spray as well. So they're not all worth buying, but this one I think is. So this is the Sun-Kissed Hibiscus and Pomelo, and for that price, I am very happy to own it. So hey, thanks for watching. This was a really big haul for me. I think for the average person, 16 new full-size perfumes is a lot of perfume. And I'm definitely going to be working my way through them and deciding which stay in my collection or not. But I hope you learned something. I hope you had some fun with me. Let me know if there's any of these you've tried and what your opinions are on them. Maybe some suggestions for a future haul for me would be awesome. I love gourmands, I love sweet stuff, and I love cheap stuff like we all do. So please like and subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. I'm growing my channel and growing my community at the same time and having a lot of fun with it. So thanks for being here. I hope you have a very beautiful